What's up? It's your boy Pernell Bills on the On My Way podcast. And today I got a special guest with me today. He's one of my best friends, and he gives his own little intake on, how he got started in photography, his view on the political structure of the United States and what's going on, as well as relationship and dating. Kind of give me like advice, you feel me? Kind of give you that point of view that you may not have thought about, but it makes sense if you think about it, right? The real form of dating. That's what I call it. It might be the real form of dating, but we've kind of lost that art. But allow me to introduce my homeboy, my best friend, Reggie Watkins. What's up, Reggie?
What's good, bro? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing pretty well. Can't complain too much yourself about this Atlanta traffic. That's the only thing I can complain about. Other than that, I'm pretty good.
Man, Atlanta, I ain't coming back to Atlanta in a minute.
Why not?
The drivers, bro, they crazy.
Man, look.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
They better than I would say they better than Miami, but nah, Miami people, I'm okay with their driving. And this is Atlanta traffic, bro. Dudes be driving slow or fast and still won't do what they supposed to do. Like, you don't know what's going on. You be hoping nobody hit your car. You just driving like, dog, hope nobody hit my car. Nobody hit my car. And I know what somebody hit my car.
Exactly.
Literally.
Exactly.
On the side of the road. But so you've been doing photography for a little minute now. About what, good 3 years now? A solid 3 years of doing photography.
Yeah, about 2.5, almost 3 years.
2.5, 3 years. How did that all come about? For me, I've seen the process. You being my roommate and everything like that. I've seen you get to that point where you are now, as well as the interest to go further in your craft. Like, where did this interest of photography come from?
So, really, I was never really interested in photography before. I think it came from watching one of our mutual friends, TJ Greer, very talented artist all around, watching him do some of his work. And it kind of pushed me to want to do the same thing. So him and a few people know 318 Photo, Trayvon Ware. Those two guys were big influences on me starting. I picked up a camera, started snapping some pics. They gave me pointers on what to look for, what to do, what not to do. Kind of molded me so I could just take a little bit better pictures. After that, seeing the outcome of the before and after photos, after just like a few weeks of learning and reading and stuff like that, really lit a fire under me and made me want to do better and do more. And then seeing some of the photographers around the area. Pensacola is saturated with photographers and artists of all kinds. And it's so wonderful. It can be discouraging and wonderful at the same time. But I take it as a great thing because there's so many people that I can bounce off of. I can look at their work and it can give me inspiration, or I can inspire someone else with my work. So photography was just it was kind of like a shot in the dark. Kind of like that, hey, I want to start a hobby, moment. And I wouldn't say I'm the best, but my goal is to get to a point where someone looks at my photo and says, damn. So one day I'm going to get there. I don't have to be in Vogue. I don't have to be in any art museums or anything like that. I just want someone to look at my photo and get a feeling, a sense that nothing else has ever brought them that feeling before.
Is there any difficulties in doing photography for you? Like, has there ever been like a point where you're just like, dog, this is a little harder than I thought, or maybe like I don't like this part, this aspect of my craft. Like I'm great at taking pictures and taking photos, but there's a certain part of it that I can do without.
Uh, yeah. So just like everything in life, uh, there's always going to be ups and downs. Well, in my opinion, it's a constant battle, in photography and art in general, because you kind of have to create what's what's in your mind. You have to create it to where someone else can see what you're seeing. They can see it from your same perspective. So when I'm doing a photo, or when I'm getting ready to take a photo, like we might be walking down the street, and I might just randomly stop and look over in the distance, and like when I was in Miami, or when I was in Atlanta with you, like you guys saw me do it. Like we were just walking along, I just stopped, looked up, was like, oh man. In my head, I'm thinking, oh man, that would make a great photo. So I pulled out my cell phone. I did some framing, trying to find the right angle and everything like that to what I had saw in my head, and then I snapped the picture. Of course, everything else I see after that, I'll be, will add in post production. But really trying to mirror what I see in my head and get my final image to look like that. That was hard at first. Now I'm starting to get better at it. Especially with my portraiture. When I have a model or someone, and we're doing portraits. Portraits are super hard at first, because the portraits is not just you that has input on the photo. It's the model as well. Kind of, hey, this is kind of how I want this photo to turn out. So them using their words, you using your words, coming together to try to make a beautiful image. It takes some time. It's definitely a skill, craft that one day I will master. Let me see. Post production. So photography isn't just picking up a camera, snapping a picture, and then posting it on Instagram. No, it's like I said, it's using that camera, which is a tool, to fine tune what you see, and then using other tools, kind of like Photoshop or Lightroom and all these other great post production products, to make sure you have the best quality image. Whether you're producing it, whether you're uploading it to Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, whether you're making you're using film, and you're making like a lookbook or anything like that. There's a whole lot that goes into photography as a whole that I guess is difficult, but once you get into the swing of things, once you learn and you perfect your craft, it all becomes easy. So what may take me, an hour to do, can take a photographer who's been in the game just a little bit longer than me, maybe 30 minutes, and then, on and on. So everyone, as long as you keep wanting to grow, you'll grow and everyone gets better. And that's where I'm trying to get to.
And so I know photography is one of those, is one of your interests, your passions, that you're craft that you're starting to hone and you're getting better at. But one thing I've noticed as a friendship with you in the years that I've grown knowing you, and the type of conversations that we have, is that you have a political interest as well. Knowing the political landscape of America, knowing the political landscape of African Americans and the culture, and how, what we need to do to become better. We've had many conversations at night, what we can do, not just in the world, but starting off on our own University of West Florida campus, and seeing like how our campus kind of mirrors what happens out there in the world. You feel me? It's kind of like that little haven that we're able to experience the real world without having real world consequences, so to speak. As long as it's not nothing like, do anything too crazy, right? From us seeing let's be real, the news on campus, to how our own people might hold us back from doing what we want to do, what could be done because of certain rules that are in place. You feel me? But missing out on the opportunity to do great things. How, for you, the political landscape of America? You said in a tweet, right? I'm gonna bring up a tweet. You said in a tweet, America is so deeply rooted in capitalism, right? So deeply rooted in capitalism that we monetize mass killings. That type of structure. Like, what is, in your mind, what is wrong with America?
So, and that tweet, I think I tweeted that today. Just a little background that I've been, like, I'm always on my phone, I'm always on Twitter, always on Facebook and whatnot, and I read a lot of articles and things like that. I've noticed that in the last few months and years, since mass shootings have been, really public in the media, we've come, as a society, a lot of people have, instead of stepping up and trying to close this wound that we have, this wound of mass shootings, people have taken the capitalistic approach, and that they see that, hey, there's a need and people want to be safe from mass shootings. I can make a product to keep them safe.
Instead of fixing the problem.
Yeah, instead of fixing the problem. So it's just really a Band-Aid. There's these door barricades, which are all, there's bulletproof backpacks, there's, hideaways in classrooms, things like that, which are all great products. But
why would you need such a thing,
mass
right?
Shooting, exactly. Mass shootings, if we treat mass shootings as, let's say it's a cancer, and the cancer starts in my foot, so I'm going to cut my foot off. That's a Band-Aid. So now the cancer is gone, right? No, because the cancer has creeped up my leg. So now I'm going to cut my leg off right below the knee. And it keeps creeping up. And now I'm going to cut it off now I'm going to completely cut my leg off and go without my leg. You're just tearing away at yourself little by little, instead of, hey, how can I treat this cancer to eradicate it completely? So it kind of baffled me that we as a society had got to that point complacent. And you had asked me, what do you think is wrong with it? American society. I would say that we've become complacent, in really every aspect. The great thing, I guess, about America was that if something was wrong and we wanted to change it, we fought to change it. Even all the way back when America first started, even though our history isn't the best and our foundation and the way we started wasn't the best, the people that founded America, they weren't going to stand for something that was wrong. So when the King of England was wrongfully taxing them, and they were coming in and seizing their property and stuff like that, like, they were like, oh, no, hey, you go get your musket, I'm going to go get my musket, and we about to bust the cap. Like, they ain't finna come do this to us. We don't do that anymore. Now we're like, social justice warriors. We all go on to our Facebook and Instagram and Twitters, and
we're like masking ourselves.
But we're just masking over it a little bit.
So,
and even myself, I do it. I get caught up in the hype of a wrongful killing, and like for like a week, I'll be on a binge of debates, and then it'll die down, and I'll adjust back to what I would call my normal life. And not that I forget about it, but I just, hey, let me focus on me right now.
It's kind of like it's kind of like what they say, right? America's all gun ho about something until it's not relevant again, and then it disappears.
Relevant.
And we try to pop back up, and we're like, "Oh, what's going on?" Nah, you kind of like I'll be real, the Black Lives movement, right? I love the movement and stuff like that, but you don't see that same passion to fix change like you were before, because at the moment it was the cool thing to do. Like you said, capitalizing. It's a capitalistic mentality. Even though we didn't make money off of it, it's kind of like, I'm going to capitalize on the situation. Capitalism is not all about money. Sometimes it's about just capitalizing on the situation to get what I want. To get an upper hand. And I mean, for me, watching what's going on in the political landscape, I think as a society, we've gotten to the point where we are very soft on what's going on. Instead of just, that's the problem, being truthful with ourselves. Looking yourself in the mirror. And since I've been alive, since you've been alive as well, we're the same age. America has been at war. Either they've been at war with another country or they've been at war with themselves. And from the time period of the 9/11 and that now coming to an end or at an end or whatever's going on, to the point where now we're not pointing fingers at our opponent, sort of say, that we've magically created. We're pointing at our own people who's in front of us, who's been helping us, our best friends, our girlfriends, our neighbor. We're pointing at them because instead of us solving the problem, we're just going to pick at the problem, and then we're going to just talk around the problem and not just go at it. You feel me? Like, not just solve the problem.
Instead of going at it, yes. But I would say it's going to take a long time to fix it. But as a society, and it starts with me, it starts with you, it starts with those listening on this podcast. As a society, when we see something wrong, we should stop and correct it then. And we should, encourage others around us to stop and correct it then. Because eventually that's going to start a chain reaction. And we'll start to change, as a person, as a group of friends, as a community, as a city, state, nation. And, we can't just, sit on by the wayside and, float through life. We have to be proactive in our lives and in the lives of others if we want to see a positive change towards anything.
It's what you're saying is kind of like, it's an old rule, right? Your father's probably taught you that. You probably got in trouble for not following this rule. I'm just going to assume. For me as well, I've gotten in trouble with that. I've gotten talked to as well. It's like, you see the crumpled up piece of paper or something on the ground, right? And instead of walking past it, just pick it up and throw it in the trash. I do that now. Like, if it's something on the ground, like, that's in my vicinity, or if it's not, like, I ain't saying like all the trash on the ground in the world I'm gonna go ahead and pick up. Nah. I'm not. I mean, I'm green, but dude, I ain't gonna pick up everybody's trash. But like, if I'm in a hallway and there's nothing else on the ground but this sheet of paper or this one little thing, instead of walking around it, because I've been taught and I've gotten in trouble for doing it back in the day, I just pick it up and throw it away. Some people may say, "Why are you doing that?" Others may be like, "Oh, you've been taught right." But at the same time, my head is like, why not? You see a problem, you fix that problem. I didn't go around the sheet of paper like everybody else. I didn't go around the person who's injured on the ground. I didn't go around the person who's having a hard time with life. I didn't go around that person. I just went and go straight up to him, and I threw the trash away, or I went to that person and helped that person up, or I stopped and asked them, "Hey, what's wrong? You all right?" Exactly. And a lot of times it's just the little things, the human element that we've starting to forget, because, like you said, social media allows us to put that mask on, and we never take it off. Sometimes we never even take it off for our own family, and that's and that's what happens when you're talking Twitter fingers. That's what happens when you use Twitter fingers, right? I ain't gonna say the trigger fingers because I don't want nobody shooting or anything, but we're Twitter fingers now. This is what's going on, and I'm gonna write about it. I'm gonna talk about it instead of, hey, let me solve that problem.
Yeah.
I understand this topic is going a little longer than I wanted it, but I like talking about the political realm for Black people, for the Black culture. What do we have to do to get from? What do we have to do to stop holding ourselves back? Like, what do we have to do so that we're not in the same boat as we were 50 years ago? Because one thing I know, which history repeats itself, and to me, we're back where we're not where we just got our freedom from. Let's say for slavery, we're not at the civil rights, getting our civil rights, but where we are now is like we're back at the point where we're self-efficient, but we're not doing anything with that. Like, what do we have to do to get further?
So, one thing that I think we should do is stop being so closed-minded to Republican ideas. And not every Black person is a Democrat. Not every Black person is a Republican or Libertarian or MPA or Independent or whatever. But most of the Black people that I know and are in my family are Democratic. Every time I went to a very conservative Christian school growing up from kindergarten to 12th grade. So, those ideas of conservativeness and Republican, I guess, agendas, those were really bred into me in school. So every time I would bring something up, my grandparents would be like, "Boy, why are you talking all that Republican mess for?" And as a kid, I never thought about it. I was just like, "Oh, Republicans wrong. I'm a Democrat."
That's the Black thing to do, because my entire family all are Democratic.
It was the Democrats who stuck with the Black people. That
That's like law. That's like the house law.
Exactly. So I would always be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a Democrat." Bad Republicans, shoo, go away. But as I got older, especially when I got into college, my senior year and my freshman year of college and whatnot, I started to realize that a lot of Republican ideas economically, I don't agree with all of them, but there are some that I do agree with. And socially, there's a lot of democratic ideas that hold true to my values. And I don't have to be a Democrat. I don't have to be a Republican. I can just want to vote for the person that best represents me as a person. That's why I want going ahead into my state legislator, being my state representative at the state level, and that's how I want going ahead at the House of Representatives level, in U.S. Congress, representing me nationally. That's how I want as a senator, that's how I want as a governor, and even as a president.
Giving you the best opportunity to succeed, and who's going to have your back, and not just going all willy-nilly just because he's a Democrat, or just because he's a Republican. Is that
Republican?
And that's so, and it's a house always divided, right?
It is. It really is. But and instead of always latching on to what we've been told, I find myself now as I get older taking a step back, putting myself in the other side's shoes, trying to see from their perspective, because reality is irrelevant. Perspective is everything. I was told that by one of my former bosses. Reality is irrelevant. Perception is everything. So how I perceive something is really what shapes my reality. So when I realized that, I started putting myself in the other person's shoes to see, well, how might they view the reality that is before us? And then I fall back and I say, well, this is how I view it. And then I get someone else's opinion. I see how they view it. And I use that kind of to help shape my outlook on life.
And your decisions that you make, right?
And my decisions that I make. When it comes to politically, you kind of got to do that as well, because when it comes to representing a people, a body of people, not everyone wants the same thing. Not everyone wants the same outcome. So, if I run for representative, I'm going to Congress as a U.S. representative. I need to see, okay, so I know the majority of my people, let's say if I was for Pensacola, majority of people in Pensacola being a very conservative area, majority of the people are going to be pro-life. And because we have, two great colleges here, and just because of the era that we're in, a lot of our young kids are growing up with very liberal mindsets. They're very pro-choice. So I look at my constituents, I say, okay, I have the majority of you guys are older, retirees, or getting ready to enter the retirement. So you're all pro-life. And a majority of my younger constituents, which aren't really the voting majority, they're pro-choice. Well, how can I best represent them if a bill or something came across that was on the subject of abortion? Where should I stand? I know my personal stance, but where should I stand to best represent my constituents? Because it's not about me; it's about the people that voted me into office. If more of our politicians thought like this, our political arena in America would be so much better. But then I have to, okay, well, let me hold some town halls. Let me get everyone's outlook on things. Let me see how people want me to vote. That'll make politics so much easier if you actually had someone that was caring for you.
Do you think politically?
So
do you think politically?
Go ahead.
Do you think politically we've gotten the politics in general have gotten too far away from the community and more on the titles?
Yeah. Like as I said before, if you have someone that's caring for you, they're gonna ask those questions about the community. But from what I've seen, people get in office, I never see them. I never see them until it's time to put my name on that, or to bubble in by their name on that ballot. Then I might see them once. And I understand, being in Congress is a very stressful job. I grew up in Washington, D.C., representing me. But to take no time to come back to your area that you're representing to see how they feel on certain things. I've never gotten my representative in Congress is Congressman Matt Gaetz. I've never gotten any questionnaires, anything from that man. But let me tell you, when it came time to vote for him, you must believe I got 3 or 4 phone calls asking if I was supporting Matt Gaetz for Congress. Politics has become a career when our founding fathers never meant for it to be that way. Now, related to the African American community, we need to do more to show face in politics. Whether it's the poll workers or help with the ballots or even running for city council, running for county commissioner, mayor, state representative, so on and so forth. Because it's gonna sound crazy, but every black person can relate to every black person. Like I have not met one black person, whether they are African American, whether they're Haitian, Jamaican, whether they're from South Africa, whether they're from France. I've not met one black person.
Everyone has a connection
today that I cannot relate to. Everyone has a connection. And to not see that, that representation in politics growing up, it made me, hey, I want to be the first black president. And then getting the first black president, like I cried on that day. I was like, oh my gosh, we got our first black president. Like there's going to be more. That means I really can be the first black president. I want to be able to give some kid that hope. So one day you might see me run for politics, in politics, maybe Congress or mayor or something like that.
Take the steps to get into
it. But right now I'm gonna start by being more proactive and reaching out to my congressman, and talking more to our state representatives and things like that. Because I mean, although they don't reach out to me, that doesn't mean I can't reach out to them. Let them know how I feel about certain things. Because Florida got a lot of stuff going on. Like we crazy.
But we control the president. Like that's like who gets into office is based off of what Florida does. And it's been like that for the last 3 presidents? Maybe 4?
Yeah.
Like if you win Florida, you might as well walk yourself Mitt Romney didn't win. He didn't win Florida.
He lost Florida. But John McCain won Florida.
The one thing about John McCain, God rest his soul, I would say like you said, because our majority of African American communities are Democrat, right? They give you a negative stereotype about him before you get to really see what he does, right, or see what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. And I got the chance to see little interviews, see how he moved on the playing field, right? And as I'm watching it, this guy has stand-up values, you feel me? Only thing is he's in the Republican Party. That was the only difference. He has stand-up values, mm-hmm. and his beliefs weren't far-fetched from what I believe, and the way he carried himself, never trying to slander what Obama was doing, never trying to, be that type of guy. Even Mitt Romney didn't really do too much slander of of Obama or anything like that.
That's true.
I think, like you said, because we live in a different age, as black people, we do have to have an open mind to listen, which I'll say we don't do as much, is to listen to what the other person is saying before we react based off of just what we think it is. And I think you take a great approach to that, where you're listening to what the other person's saying. You already have your perception. You listen to what their perception is, and you make a conscious decision, a conscious understanding of what should go forth next. Mm-hmm. And so, I got one other thing. You use these conscious decisions, these understanding of how the political realm goes. You've had a different view on relationships that me personally, I haven't heard somebody bring relationships to that aspect of how dating supposed to go, how talking to somebody is supposed to go. What do you, as a relationship, as a house, how you build that house in your relationship, how that's supposed to go. What is, like, explain that your logic on relationships and dating, and like, how do you approach dating?
So I'm not really the person to talk to about relationships. I just got out of a relationship. It was wonderful. It was a great time. But dating now is really tricky. I don't really know how it was when my parents was around. But from what I can gauge, there's a lot more factors that I feel like kind of have molded people's, I guess, outlooks and perceptions. A lot more things that people have to take into account when they're dating. So let's say, so I see a girl, and I'm like, oh, she's really pretty. I want to get to know her. Well, then, I'll go over there and I'll get her number. Really, I won't because I'm shy, but that's besides the point. But so I go over there, I get her number.
Lies.
I text her, and we hit it off, right? So now we have established a connection, but really we aren't friends. We're just acquaintances. I just met her one time, and we've texted, like a few times. I'm a very literal person, so words have meanings, and I hate when people use words and they don't use them for what they actually mean. Like that's one of my biggest pet peeves. So I looked up the definition of dating, and I looked up relationships and things like that, and just so I could see, hey, what does the dictionary say, dating is? And I found, there's many different types of dating. There's dating casual for fun. There's dating for serious purposes. Like, I want to have a relationship with you. I want to make a much stronger connection than what we have now. Courtship, dating for marriage. And then, there's all out marriage. So let's go back to me and my imaginary girl that I've had to create because I'm lonely. So we get back to her. I've texted a few times. We created a nice, I guess, acquaintanceship, and we go out on a few dates, and we start to become friends. So now we develop a friendship. Well, she wants to take a friendship further. I say, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'll definitely like to take a friendship further. This right here is the point that I swear 95% of us mess up. Men and women, 95% of us mess up at this point. You want to take that friendship further. One thing we don't do, we don't communicate.
You are right.
We don't communicate.
Like how you just said it sounds so simple.
Looking for.
What you said, it sounded so simple when you're like, look, I want to take it further. Do you want to do it? Yes or no? But instead of we make that ask that question, have that conversation, we assume.
Yes. So we want to take it further, and we never communicate what exactly is our goal in taking it further, and we never communicate how quickly we want to go about this. Those are two things that play a big factor in relationships, because you don't want to just be dating someone for 10 years and have no goal in the end, but you also don't want to move super fast, date for a week, and then get married. You want to grow together until you feel comfortable and create that bond until you feel comfortable enough to, hey, maybe move on to courtship, to move on to marriage, and live a nice, happy life.
But doesn't social media make that difficult to do? Because I'm gonna be real, for being in college, for the time period of being in college, from freshman year until graduation. So I'm gonna tell everybody that's a 6-year span. But I got an AA degree and I got 2 other bachelor's degrees. So if you got something against my 6 years, hey, bump it. I got money now.
Amen. Amen.
But my thing is, in that time period, I've seen social media speed up the process of dating, of life in general. Because when we first got into school, it was, you're on social media, but you still have that, I'm going to go talk to you inside of the calf. I'm going to go talk to you inside of the courtyard. at least exchange and see what I'm going through. You feel me? I'm gonna text you, but I'm gonna come see you. You feel me? I'd rather go spend that time and build that courtship or that friendship in a personal way instead of in a virtual way. And what's going on here is that, because back in the day, catfish wouldn't even happen. You got to see the person. But now what you're seeing is, oh, I'm going to date you off what I see on Instagram or Twitter, what I see or hear off Instagram or Twitter, instead of what I've actually experienced with this person, what I've actually done with this person. And what ends up happening is everybody's like, I can't believe this, I can't believe this. While you're looking for relationship goals, you're not looking at your own relationship and finding out what the goals are for that person. I'm preaching here.
Where's the organ at?
Hey,
where the organ at?
Hey, I'm just starting out. So if I had the little, I would put it on there. But my thing is, if that's not expressed, like if you don't physically see this person and you don't physically express that, because some people are suck at texting, bro. Like I said before, you can talk to somebody and you can say a joke and they can say LOL, but on the real, they're not laughing out loud. They're just writing a word, and you think you getting somewhere. But
hey, chill, man. You coming for me?
I mean, I'm just, for me, it's just like, if you honest and upfront, if you're talking to somebody else, let that be known. If you're just want to chill, let that be known. If you want to play the field, let that be known. If you want to, I just want you for a side, let that be known. Because a lot of girls out here are cool with being the side. They cool just chilling on the side. You feel me? They just want their thing. Some guys are cool with being on the side as well. They just want to do their thing. You feel me? And when we meet, we do our thing, but we're not together. But if none of that stuff is expressed, you're still,
it's not communicated.
Exactly. What is your expectations? What is my expectations? And we'll go from there as we see fit. Because I felt assuming. Assuming sucks.
Hey, what does assuming do?
Assuming, to me, what assuming is, it's basically guessing. You're making hopeful, educated guesses. But even with educated guesses, it's still a guess. So you're making educated guesses based off of feelings, not based off of facts. It's based off of feelings, how you felt in a conversation, how you felt at this experience, how you felt in a text message that you thought you put LOL, that she put LOL or he put LOL, and you thought it was funny, but it definitely wasn't funny. It's so I feel you on that, on what's going on with the relationships and what needs to be done better. But as we come to a close, Reggie Watkins, what is some advice? Out of the three realms that we talked about: political, photography, relationships. What is some advice you would give? Just pick one of those categories and run with it. What would you give to the next man or the next woman who's coming up? They're looking for insight, and want to take the time, because that's one thing we don't do anymore. We don't consider time. We see time, we want to run with time and speed with time, but we're not moving anywhere with time. Time moves regardless, and as time moves, you gotta hope you're moving as fast as time. Like when back in the day, like, don't be fast now. They used to tell girls or guys back in the day when we were little. They don't say that no more. Don't be fast now.
My grandma still say it.
They still say it? Well, I mean, she still, your grandma still say it, but I don't see no new parents saying don't be fast. I see everybody like, hey, sprint to the finish line, and I hope you win, because life don't lose. So
I would say I'm gonna take all three.
Okay.
At the same time, basically, photography, politics, relationships. If you want to do something, do it. Like, I've stopped living my life according to, 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 accord I felt something was right or wrong in the eyes of everyone else, I just started doing what I wanted to do. So if you want to do photography, pick up a camera, start doing it. You don't have to have a super nice, expensive camera. You know, you can go get the little Kodak camera from Best Buy or Walgreens even. Pick up a phone camera or something like that. Just start snapping pictures. Just do it. Eventually, if you really love it, if you like it enough, you'll start looking at YouTube videos. You'll start getting on blogs and things like that and developing yourself. Politics. If you want to change the face of the politics in your community, state, and nation, just do it. Start attending town halls. Start getting involved. All right? Be proactive. Don't just sit back and say, we need to change something. We need to change something. We need to change something, and not be a part of that change. Be the change you want to see. Relationships. If you want to do something in a relationship, like if you want to get into a relationship, do it. Go ask that person, hey, you know, I see you as a little bit more than a friend, and I would like to take our friendship further and try to develop a nice relationship. What do you think about that? If they say no, leave them alone. Do not berate them. That is harassment. But you have to go ask, because
you never know.
And then after you ask the question, if you get the answer you're looking for, be open and communicate. Communication is one of my biggest downfalls, simply because I'm always doing a lot of different things, and I never stop to take the time to communicate effectively to the next person, whoever I'm talking to, what it is exactly that I'm doing, or what I need of them, or even asking what they may need of me.
This ain't a confession, is it?
So, no, I'm just saying, like, so I know personally, I have an issue with communication, but I try to always, I always have my phone on me, so I try to always, text that person, whether it's school related, work related, or, in my personal life, try to always stay up to date with them. Always be open to communication. Never close yourself off to communication, because that's the only way that you're going to grow. That's the only way you're going to heal. If there's any turmoil, is communication. So never close off that openly communication. But if you want to go somewhere in a relationship, if you want to add, a different outlook to your relationship, maybe you want to introduce a third person to your relationship. Maybe you don't want to be exclusive. Maybe you want to play the field and you want to casually date. Do it. But you need to communicate and let the other person know that, so don't be out here cheating, because black men don't cheat.
Hey,
right?
Hey, what? Black men don't cheat. You feel me? Faithful black men all day. You feel me?
Amen.
I guess I'm gonna give a ultimate sum of sum up what you just saying is give effort to what you want to give.
Give effort. Give effort.
Effort can do everything for you, as long as if you aiming for something, give effort to go get it. If you're aiming to run be in the political realm, give effort and go get it. Photography, give effort and go get it. Relationships, give effort in that relationship. Whether it's a friendship or just you already dating somebody, give effort. Because what you put in is what you're going to get out.
Exactly.
And so that's going to come to an end of the On My Way podcast with your boy Pernell and our special guest Reggie Watkins. Gonna give you some insights, some tips, some P's and Q's on what you need to do to become a better man or woman in your relationship. What you need to do politically, as well as, his advice. How about that? As well as photography and how he got to where he is. You feel me? And if you're somebody out there who's into photography or into anything, just you have an interest, take his advice, or consider his advice, consider his perception of it, and go about your day and make the decision that you need to make. But don't let time and all this stuff pass you by, because you're waiting and you're indecisive. Be be honest with yourself. And you being honest with yourself is going to help you be honest with somebody else. So
that is all true.
Well,
that is so true.
Reggie, how can thank you for coming on to the On My Way podcast. You're actually on episode 2 of the On My Way podcast. You feel me? But what can they find you at, man? Where can they hit you up if they got some questions or some advice or they want to debate you? You feel me? Where can they find you at?
All right. So I am on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at Do the Reggie, DOTHEREGGIE, Do the Reggie. You can hit me up on Facebook, Reggie Watkins, or on my photography page, Photos by Reggie850.
So you took my advice.
My Instagram photography page, Photos by Reggie.
You took my advice. Hey man, I'm just saying, it works a little bit. You feel me?
You're right. And
again, go ahead and follow, subscribe to the On My Way podcast on YouTube. We ain't on Instagram or anything like that. Except you can go follow your boy Pernell Bills on OnMyWay 18 _ OnMyWay 18 on Twitter, Instagram. I don't have a Snapchat no more, so I don't really roll that way. They stock's been falling. But
I bought them a Snapchat.
Hey, I'm gonna buy some more. You feel me? I feel like something's about to happen, so I need to be up on my P's and Q's, man. I just did my budget, and I'm gonna be real with you guys. So, Reggie, you're probably gonna be on this as well. When I come back and visit, when you come up to Atlanta again and not get hit by a car. Go ahead and give this little statement. On My Way will be adding a vlog to the On My Way, I guess you say, universe, following me myself in my journey of creating my sports brand, and as well as the other ventures I have with my the entertainment group Juice Squad that we've started years ago, which has become something bigger, and people want to say they had a hand in, but they didn't. Not too many people had it. So only about 4 people who had a major hand into Juice Squad and how we got started. But you're gonna be able to see that process of what I'm going through. You feel me? Maybe sometimes, but I'm just sitting here chilling, and I just don't don't have that energy. Sometimes you don't have the energy to do certain things. I just want to chill for a day. So you get to see all that, and it's coming in 2019. I call it Selfish 19 because I just got
about to be on it.
Hey, about to be on it, man. Just try everything, and like you said, bro, give effort to everything you do. And I'm trying to give effort, 100% effort, even if that means saying no to my mom, saying no to my girl, saying no to certain things that I want to do. But what they say, Reggie, you gotta put do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Put childish
do
things.
What you have to do so you can do what you want to do.
So thank you, Reggie Watkins, Do the Reggie, for coming to the On My Way podcast and giving us our understanding of your photography, political, and relationship perception. And we out.